find out that this was trying to sacrifice my son. Everybody keeps coming for my child. And now this witch says she's gonna sacrifice him to her voodoo idol.
Beyoncé is being accused again of doing black magic. Now here's what I'm gonna say. Everybody ain't lying. I spent probably a week doing research on all the people that they were connected with, and all of them are connected to some sort of black magic, some sort of witchery, okay?
The industry is buzzing again. And this time it's because Nicki Minaj just made a claim that almost nobody expected her to say out loud. According to people close to her, she believes Beyoncé has been trying to harm her son, Papa Bear, not with physical force, but through some kind of spiritual attack. That's the part that shook everybody, because even for celebrity drama, that's a serious accusation. And once she said it, every old rumor about Beyoncé and witchcraft started resurfacing like it never left. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment if you love this kind of content. All right, let's dive in. What makes this even messier is that Jay-Z reportedly isn't letting this slide. Sources say he's already talking to lawyers, because from his side, Nicki didn't just cross a line. She burned the whole thing down. So now people are wondering, is Nicki telling the truth about something people have whispered for years? Or is she spiraling and dragging the Carters into a fight they never asked for? Let's walk through how this whole situation even started. Nicki has always kept a bit of tension with the Carters. Most of the time it was subtle. Little lines in songs, comments fans could debate, nothing too direct. But things shifted when she brought Beyoncé and Jay-Z's kids into an online rant. That was the moment people said, yeah, this is going somewhere dark. Nicki wasn't just arguing with Cardi B or throwing normal celebrity shade. She openly talked about the Carters' children, and anyone who follows them knows they do not play about their kids. Just look back at the Kanye situation. In 2022, when he tweeted those comments about their twins, Jay-Z and Beyoncé were reportedly ready to take legal action. Even though they didn't follow through, insiders made it clear they were furious. They don't react publicly often, so when their children are involved, that's where they draw their boundary. Still, Nicki didn't stop. During that long rant where she was going back and forth with multiple people, she dropped tweets about Jay-Z, about Beyoncé, and eventually about their kids. She even went back to their old business drama. Nicki claims Jay-Z once tried to cheat her out of millions during the Queen era. She's brought that up several times, calling it a karmic debt and saying she ran the numbers herself. Whether that's true or not, it's been fueling the tension for years.
Now listen, real quick. MTV is petrified because they got a couple calls yesterday, and people were saying, what if Nicki says this and if Nicki says that? And you know, and I said, it's okay, MTV, I can control myself.
Then there were the questionable lines in songs. Fans noticed every time Nicki said something that seemed aimed at Beyoncé, especially after Beyoncé's Savage remix. Nicki's features on songs like Say So had lines that felt like they were referencing Beyoncé's body lyrics. Later, when Beyoncé went into her cowboy era, Nicki threw shade again by joking about bulls and real cowgirls. Nothing was subtle anymore. It was clear Nicki was irritated, and she wanted Beyoncé to feel it. But through all of this, Beyoncé stayed silent. Not a word, not a post, nothing. The only person who showed anything was Solange, who posted what looked like a spiritual altar on Instagram, and then shut off the comments. For people who follow celebrity symbolism, that wasn't taken lightly. Fast forward to now. Nicki is telling people privately and hinting publicly that Papa Bear is being targeted spiritually. She allegedly thinks Beyoncé is behind it, which is why she keeps pointing out that her son doesn't talk much yet. She hasn't said it directly, but the implication is there. And anyone who follows Nicki knows she'll say everything except the last 5% and expect fans to connect the rest. People are shocked because Beyoncé has dealt with these witchcraft accusations for years. Her former drummer, Kimberly Thompson, filed actual legal documents claiming Beyoncé used dark magic on her. Spells, tapping phones, controlling finances, all of that. Whether those claims are believable or not, they're part of the public record now, and Nicki knows it. She knows bringing up spiritual attacks makes the story stick even harder.
Why you believe this sort of negative energy was coming from Beyoncé, and just talk about that a little bit so we can understand that.
Well, I definitely did that to definitely be so clear to cut the cord that I don't want to have anything to do with this person at all. I don't want to work with them. I'm even embarrassed that I have worked with them because it's literally shattered everything that I've tried to build after doing that work in my life. If I have I always said when I was a kid, I never would want to regret anything, but this I regret. I regret that we ever worked together because it's turned my life completely upside down. She's not been able to let me go. She's not been able to let me progress into a mature woman and work with other people, build other great entities and statues and trophies that develop in the arts world and music. She's just been a savage, stealing my intellectual property, stealing my ideas, just basically doing anything and everything to damage any type of happiness that I could have had up to current. That be in my own independent career, establishing my own company, my own music, relationships, whether it be business partnerships, personal relationships. So I've had to do a lot of work, a lot of practice of self-love. I know that, I was that kid that grew up and always did the right things and always studied really hard and always did a lot for whoever I was working for and the company. And, that time has come and passed over and over again. And it's just been a nightmare to try to move on and do other things with other people without it getting totally destroyed. Other people I've worked with that have been on a plateau have been paid to fire me. I found this out, and then it just kept happening. So it was a pattern. Get really excited about something, you build it up.
Kanye also fueled these ideas years later when he went on his own rant about Hollywood, sacrifices, and people being controlled. He didn't name many names, but he definitely included Beyoncé and Jay-Z in that group.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyoncé.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Not
You see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Then you have Jaguar Wright, who has said even more extreme things about the couple. Again, no proof, but people remember this stuff. Nicki has been online reading these stories for years. She has mentioned the drummer situation before. She's referenced Kanye. So when she suddenly said Beyoncé is trying to use Papa Bear as some kind of punishment, it hit harder because she didn't invent the narrative. She grabbed something that was already floating around. But according to insiders around the Carters, they're genuinely confused. They don't understand why Nicki keeps escalating this. They didn't respond to the jokes, the lyrics, the tweets, or the hosting comments she made at the VMAs. They ignored all of it. Because to them, Nicki was just being Nicki, unpredictable, emotional, and always online. The alleged belief inside Beyoncé's camp is that Nicki is lashing out because of stress and paranoia, not because anything is actually happening to her son. They don't want to dignify the spiritual accusations with a response, so Jay-Z is reportedly handling it legally instead of publicly. The rumor is that he's preparing to file a defamation suit and possibly add a restraining order, with a gag order attached, so Nicki can never publicly speak about his family again. And if that happens, that changes everything. Most celebrity drama stays online. Rarely does it step into a courtroom. If Jay-Z pushes this forward, it means he believes Nicki has crossed into dangerous territory that could harm their reputation, their children, and their privacy. The real question is why Nicki is doing this now. Some people think she's finally exposing something she believes people have been too scared to mention for years. Others believe she's spiraling, and the Carters became the target. Either way, this feud is no longer fun or petty. It's personal, and it involves children, which always raises the stakes. Whether Beyoncé did anything or not, this is the situation. Nicki has made a spiritual allegation that can't be fact-checked. Beyoncé refuses to respond. Jay-Z is letting lawyers prepare their next steps, and Papa Bear's name is now attached to one of the biggest celebrity feuds in years. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Nicki is exposing something real? Or do you think she's saying things that are going to cost her later? Drop your thoughts in the comments and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next update, because because this story is nowhere near finished.